So this is a really off-the-cuff video, and as you can see, that nothing about the camera is properly set up. I just took the LG G5 to get this video done, so don't expect any cuts or anything like that. This will be uploaded as it is, but I wanted to get this video done, but honestly, I was just too lazy today for any video editing and the whole rendering and so on. So what I wanted to do in this video is to give you kind of an update for my Samsung Galaxy S7 3 months later. And if you maybe actually follow me on Twitter, I said one thing. If you do a second look video or a revisited video after after a certain period of time, and a lot of your opinion changes, then I think you did it wrong the first time. So I am definitely not there, but I will go through everything, and if something's changed in a positive or negative way, so just let get to that once again real quick. Sony Galaxy S7. I've used it for slightly over 3 months now. What is my opinion? In terms of design and build quality, I still think it is definitely the most compact flagship. It feels super premium still. It can get a little bit slimy sometimes. It really depends on my certain hands and how moisty they are or not, and if the device picked up a lot of slimy fingerprints. So sometimes I will have to wipe it away, but it can get slimy. Something I am absolutely worth though with the compromise, because I thought getting actually a skin, and then I thought no, I absolutely love glass on glass in terms of the inner field, so I won't do that. I rather clean it a little bit more often, or my hands, but I will live with that. The curves that I have talked about, sometimes if the phone, especially if it's slimy, then it feels like if I press my hands together, so it would kind of be pushed out, but it is also still worth it because the phone overall feels so great in the hand, and one hand usability is better here, unbeaten compared to any other flagship. The P9 comes the close, but I still like it, and the rest, it is still built super sturdy, super great in and feel compact. I absolutely still love the design, besides the caveat of the slimy feel, but like I said, it's worth the premium feel. The display, I still like it, especially for the contrast and for the blacks using it at night. And I use my phones a lot at the dimmer setting, either here in the studio when I edit the videos with the lights turned off, or in my bedroom, or in my home theater. I just like it dark, and then this display with its amazing contrast is still a bomb. But the one thing, the white on its own, if you just use this phone, is absolutely fine. But when I notice when I have phones like the HTC 10, the P9, or even the LG G5, this feels still a little bit too warm. But I can get past that. Yes, colors are oversaturated, and what I especially noticed in videos, it's just too dark, and a lot of details in some of my certain clothes or something like that just get a little bit overshadowed, so that you just don't see them. They are too dark. But all this is worth the trade, because I usually watch not me on these videos, but other YouTubers, and then I don't really care if some details are lost, because the overall experience is great. The screen is very bright, maybe not the very brightest one, but still great. Viewing angles are top, and it still has this pop. I like the contrast, because especially if you have a black theme and white text, this is something that I still love. The sound by now would be the most disappointing thing, because back when I reviewed it, I still liked it, and I still do in terms of a rich sound. But I've noticed back then I thought it's actually a quite loud speaker, but there are so many louder flagship, especially now. The HTC 10 was marginally louder, but felt a little bit weaker. The P9 is definitely louder. The LG G5, which I'm recording this video here with, is so much louder and also richer. So I would definitely like that, because if I would have to choose a bottom firing speaker, I think it would be even the one of the LG G5. I really like that one, but the sound is still okay, and it is able to drive a headphone properly, so this is still good. Performance is and that is maybe one thing that a lot of people want to know, if the phone lags now after 3 months, and I can tell you, no, it does not. It feels exactly as it did in my first week or so when I used it. It is still super smooth. It is still a little bit of an oversensitive screen, so sometimes when you just hover like or something like that, it still feels like it would lag, but it's not. And I can type on this phone faster than on any other one, but I notice also, since it's so compact, I have a harder time getting to the space bar. But on no phone of this year's flagship I can tap so fast, because it's so super responsive. Performance is still great. For games, I still don't like it. I think 1440p is a little bit too much to push with by the Exynos or even a Snapdragon 820. They still don't get there. I would have wished for a 1080p resolution here for the gaming, or option to get it there. Battery life is still absolutely killer on Wi-Fi, but still absolutely atrocious for me on data, and I don't get why. And on the LG G5, I actually have pretty much the same issue, that I have very bad battery life. It's even worse on the G5 because it has a smaller battery on its own, but on Wi-Fi it's still great. And I pretty much, since I always review other phones, have this on Wi-Fi, so it's still fine, but it's still the same issue. I hoped that to get that away, but it didn't. Software, I like it even more so now, because I think all the recent other skins like HTC, LG, Huawei, they are on a mature level, but they don't really offer anything special anymore. Their theming sensing seem quite limited. They just don't change so much, and they feel boring. And this is definitely a nice, different experience now, with a completely black theme and things like that. So I love it. And the camera, to finish that up, still is a killer, because I actually wasn't that impressed back when I had it, and it actually improved, because I've seen the Huawei P9 camera, I've seen the HTC 10 camera, I've seen the one on the LG G5, and this is still the best camera. Not that I really care about it, since the camera is not important for me, but it still has the best camera. Okay, the selfie camera is still the worst of all the flagships, but I don't really do selfies anyways. So would I buy this phone again? I think this is the most important question. And since I have now used all the recent flagships, like the HTC 10, the P9, the LG G5, Sony Xperia X, for example, of course, the Xperia X Performance is the flagship to go for, I would still go for this one overall. And if I would have to choose a second one, it would be a really close fight to the P9. The rest, HTC 10 just didn't really impress me so much. I would actually, if not for the battery life, but if you need a few more days, I would actually choose the G5 over the HTC 10, because for me, it feels better in the hand. The display is nicer. Sound is actually better. A lot of people will disagree with the speaker here, but yes. And it has the best performance. It even beats the S7. It has the best performance. The camera is also top notch. I still have to do a side-by-side comparison, but it's great. The software is quite clean, minimal, definitely looks better than ever. So this was my 3 months later video. I still like it a lot. It's not perfect, but no phone is these days, or will ever be, at least not for everyone. There are people who will hate the S7, and there are people who absolutely love the S7, and then there are people who like the HTC 10 a lot, or the Huawei. So for me, at the current time, it is still the I would say, best balance of all. Yes, this would have been it. And since I can't cut anything or something like that, give it a like if you want to, give it a subscribe if you want to, do whatever you want to, but have a nice day. Bye. And now I have to actually turn this